Coffee.
Hot coffee for me. Cold water.
The water's warmer than the air.
Okay. Coffee is safe. Rudder is down. Pre-check's complete. Is this deep enough? It looks deep enough.
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Shut up, Steve. Hey guys, Brian Schultz here with Cape Falcon Kayak. Once again, we are down here in beautiful Baja, Mexico, testing out the new pedal drive canoe system. Again, if you don't know what that is, check the link on the screen. That's going to take you to a video that talks all about the history and the design evolution of this particular watercraft. And if you don't know who I am, because you're new here, my name is Brian. I've been building skin-on frame boats professionally for over 20 years. I offer online video courses and plan sets for how to build this style of boat. So anyways, like I just said, we are down here in Baja, Mexico, trying to put as many hours as possible on this new pedal drive canoe design. That way, if there's anything I need to know, I can update the next generation of this particular boat. And as long as we're out here, might as well be fishing because it's a great place to fish. So the weather report today is, oh, I got a fish. Hold on.
I'm so excited, dude. Like,
it's probably just a barracuda, but well, I'm trying to do the intro here.
I just pull my line up.
Okay, yeah, I bet this just feels like a barracuda. It's coming in way too easy. You go out fishing early because that's when the fish are biting, but that's also when the barracuda are around. And not that there's anything wrong with a barracuda. I mean, it's a great fish. What is this? Oh, it's a lizard fish. I know. I don't like them either. Okay, guys, this is called a lizard fish. I'm just gonna get rid of it real quick here. I'm fishing barbless, so the hook should come out pretty easy. All right, see you later, bud. All right, so as I was just saying, weather report for the day is it was supposed to be cloudy, but it's actually looking like it's going to be sunny, and the winds are forecast as light and variable, but because it's going to be sunny today, I do not trust that forecast, so we're going to stay a little bit closer to shore just so we don't accidentally get blown away. Now, as far as the actual fishing mission today goes, we've got plenty of fish in the cooler right now, so we don't need to actually catch anything. So I think what we're gonna do is maybe try some of the lures that I don't normally fish and try to target some of the species that I haven't caught yet. Specifically, what I'm talking about here is mahi. I've actually hooked into 2 mahi just casting from the shore randomly, but it's a big, powerful fish, and when you're fishing single barbless hooks, it's pretty hard to keep them on the line. In the driver's seat behind me, we've got Liz pedaling and steering the boat.
Good morning, guys.
I'm sitting in the front seat. I'm gonna do some jigging. Sun is just starting to come up over the horizon here. Should be a beautiful morning. Come along for the adventure, enjoy the scenery. Maybe we'll catch some weird fish to show you. Whoa, oh shit. Okay, that was a hard hit. That thing hit hard. I don't know what that is. That's not a trigger. I mean, it could have been something like a leopard grouper where they slam hard and then they just come off the hook, but the strike was definitely pretty hard. It almost pulled the pole right out of my knee. No, you're cool, you're cool. I think we're far enough from the rocks. We're not gonna, and it's coming in now, it's coming in. You know, it's just the initial strike was pretty hard. Oh, it's who knows what it is. It just hit hard, but it's not big. What do we got? Yep, leopard grouper. That's how they roll, you know? They slam into you and you think you got an enormous fish, and then it's just an average size fish. Okay, here, hold the pole. Let me get rid of it. Okay, bud. Come here. So poor man's fish grip here is just a pair of vice grips, but they're not all the way tight, so I'm not compressing his lip. So I'm gonna grab it like that, and then we're just gonna carefully work this out of here. I don't understand why I can't get this out. This is a barbless hook. I hate to get my fingers involved after what happened the other day, but I got to get this guy off the hook. Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry for the trauma, bud. Have a good life. A little bit of slow fishing this morning, no big deal. We're not actually trying to catch any fish, but I figured as long as we're out here just kind of chilling, might as well do a little bit of experimentation. So I think what I'm going to do is change Liz's lure from this guy right here, which has been super productive for us, to this, which we found on the beach. We call this the zombie Rapala. It's a really big, deep diving lure. I'm not sure I actually want to hook into whatever this might catch, but Liz does have 40 pound on her pole, and I think there's a decent chance we could pull it in under the right conditions. So let's throw this out there and see what happens. This thing pulls so hard it actually feels like you have a fish. Interestingly, I don't feel like trolling is really the best way to catch fish down here. I mean, maybe if you're in a big sport boat and you can really match your speed to the species you're trying to catch. We do all right trolling, but I always do better if I just stop and jig for the fish. So, but once again, we're just out here kind of having a good time today. We don't really need to catch fish, so it's a good time to experiment. So I'm not sure how well this is going to show up on camera, but you can see my phone here, and I've got the speed and course tracking app that I like open. This is called Water Speed. It's a really simple tracker. It shows you the direction that you're going, your course, and your location. And then down here, it has a bunch of different data. You can see we've been on the water for a little bit over an hour. Right now, we're going south at 2.1 miles per hour, which doesn't seem that fast, but we're also pushing against current, we're pushing against wind, we're dragging some fairly draggy lures, and we're dragging an outrigger along with us. If we were to turn the canoe around right now, we'd probably be going about 3.5 miles per hour. You can see we've gone 2.2 miles, and our course is 201 degrees south. And so this is not a substitute for your traditional navigation skills, but it makes a great complement to them, because if you know exactly where you are, how fast you're going, what your direction is, you can check your traditional navigation skills against that, and that's going to help you to become a better traditional navigator. And also, it's going to let you know if there's any forces acting on you that you're not aware of, like the really strong tidal current that we're pushing against right now. If I was just doing this by the seat of my pants, I would assume that we're going a lot faster than we are. Now that I know that the tide is pushing this hard, I can kind of factor that into my decision making. So because I'm not super concerned about catching a fish today, I think we're going to do a little bit more exploring than normal. We're going to take a second and land at this little north-facing beach behind me. Whenever we can, I like to check these out because it's pretty rare that there's not swell coming in on the north-facing beaches down here. And if you can land on these, oftentimes you can get really great beach combing, because this is where all the cool stuff washes up. Unfortunately, about half of that stuff is usually junk and plastic, but sometimes that's kind of interesting as well. So let's land and check out the scenery.
King of the world!
King of the world. Knowing my luck, that's exactly when I would trip and go into the water.
Yep.
Dropped up by the bus. Okay. What'd you find? Show me it. What is this? What's funny is that wasn't scripted, guys. I had no idea she was going to do that.
Mysterious desert teapot. Wow.
Oh, wow.
The rope goes all the way down the hook to the tip of the estuary.
So I'm not sure the GoPro perspective is going to do this view any favors, but check this out, guys. You can see we've got the Sea of Cortez. We've got a little hook down here. You can see where the fishermen have been launching their boats from those trucks. And then it wraps around into this estuary back here. Just absolutely gorgeous. This is just the kind of scene where we should have a drone and some influencer music and possibly a Sprinter van that costs more than a house. But seriously though, the scenery down here is absolutely gorgeous. It is such a privilege to be here. However, just looking at the state of the water out there, I can see that the wind is starting to pick up. So we should probably get back to the canoe. Kind of walking down this road here. Oh wow, check this out. I set my apple down for about a minute and a half and it is now covered in bees. There's almost no moisture down here in the desert, so anything that's moist is just almost instantly covered in these really beautiful little honeybees. It's getting kind of bright outside, so I figured I'd switch over to ninja mode. And before we leave this beautiful beach here, I just want to take a minute to do a little bit of shore casting. We've got a really nice light offshore wind, no waves coming in, barely at all. I went ahead and threw a Castmaster on here because I don't know what the bottom's like out here and I don't want to lose one of my nice lures. I also don't really care if I hook up right now or not. I just want to do this for the fun of it. So really nice casting distance with that 40-gram Castmaster. For those of you who are fishermen, I'm going to talk a little bit about my rig. For everybody else, feel free to skip forward a couple minutes. So right now I'm fishing with a 10-foot long Daiwa Emblem Pro. I actually wish I'd gotten the 10-foot-6 M-Cast, but other than that, I feel like this is almost a perfect shore casting rig for down here. Yes, you could get a little more distance if you were to cast with a 12 or a 13-foot pole, but those poles are really unwieldy and you tend to get tired out pretty quickly with them. And especially if you have any kind of shoulder issues, you can end up not being able to fish pretty quickly. Now, for the reel here, I'm using a Shimano Nasi 5000 series, and I really like this particular reel because even though it is not the highest end reel, it has a lot of the same features as the high-end Shimano reels. Also, it's got a decent amount of water sealing, although obviously not as much sealing as a true saltwater reel, but as long as you don't dunk it in the salt water, I think it's going to hold up for quite a while. And I've got this spooled up with almost 300 yards of 30-pound Daiwa braid. And the thing that I worry about shore casting down here is really hooking into the leopard grouper, otherwise known as cabria, also pargos, otherwise known as snapper, because what tends to happen is they'll slam into the lure and then instantly take you down into the rocks. And if there's any kind of coral sticking up, that's just going to cut through your braid just like butter. And so if I think I've got something like a cabria or a snapper, I will instantly crank my drag tight and just try to yank it out of the rocks, because if you don't do that, you're going to lose the fish almost for sure. Although the downside of tightening your drag too much is there's a chance you're going to break it off. So anyways, that's kind of my general setup down here. Obviously the 10-foot pole is a bit too long to use in a canoe or a kayak, but it does have advantages on the shore. Bring them up here. Okay, let's see what we got. I'm gonna say it's a grouper. Is it a grouper or is it something else?
It looks like a grouper, but I don't know if it's a... Oh, it's one of those beauties.
It's a hawkfish. It's a hawkfish. Okay, this is a very cool fish, guys. Check this out. This is... I'm just gonna get the hook out of him first, and then we'll talk about him. Okay, so this is called a hawkfish. Beautiful fish. Look at the markings on this. You can see it's got these blue lines around these darker spots here. Absolutely gorgeous fish. They're not that good to eat, and also I wouldn't want to kill something this beautiful. So we're going to put him back in the water. All right, so not a ton of action, pretty much what I expected, but beautiful, beautiful fishing out here. So getting kind of late, we should probably head back. I think Liz is taking a nap over here. I think we should probably go home now. All right, it's getting pretty late, so I think we're gonna head home. I'm still not giving up on my dream of hooking into a giant mahi, so I'm gonna be throwing this really huge Cabo killer right here with a single barbless on the bottom of it. All right, come on, giant mahi. I say this now, but as soon as I hook into one, you guys are gonna see me panic like a little girl, because that's exactly what happened last time. Come on. If any situation is going to catch a giant surface fish, I feel like it's this one. Look at that. Look how enticing that is. I would bite that. Oh. By the way, if you're seeing me standing up in the boat on camera, this is something that you're doing at your own risk. I am not advocating this behavior. All right, I think we should just troll home. Let's go ahead and switch places. We are almost home, but the wind is definitely starting to pick up. So just like I said this morning, if it's going to be sunny, never trust the wind forecast, because the chances of not getting a daily onshore are relatively low. Right now, I'd say it was blowing about 15 miles per hour right into our faces. I'm not sure how much that's slowing us down, but I would imagine we're going about 2 miles per hour right now. A little splashy off the outrigger out here. This inflatable outrigger has worked really well for us, but I don't think I would do it the same way again. I'm probably gonna do another prototype with a slightly different design. I think the ideal outrigger for this would be made out of plywood, but that's a whole nother story. I'll talk about that in another video. Okay, rudder up, drive out. You got it?
Oh, that's deeper than I planned.
Thanks for the ride. now. Let's get some breakfast.